Welcome everyone to our third episode of Let's Talk About Aging. Today we're talking about right sizing. That's a new term for a lot of people. It's something that was introduced to us here at the Rutherford, and my mind was blown. I was so excited to hear about this, and Tory's here with us today to really dive into what is right sizing. Before we begin, we've got to define it. What is right sizing? What does that mean? And it's the alternative to saying downsizing. Downsizing kind of brings a negative connotation to having to adjust your life and move into a smaller space because of a stage of life that you're in. That can feel really negative to the person going through that. It can make them feel like they're experiencing some type of loss. Well, right sizing brings a different and new attitude to that, which is one of positivity, right?
Absolutely.
Like I have a change in my lifestyle or a change in the stage of life that I'm in, and I've got to adjust my living space to that and make it right.
And we all go through multiple stages of that. We all want to move to the bigger place, and then suddenly that place is too big. We may need to lower the square footage a little bit. There's multiple stages.
Exactly, and that doesn't have to be negative.
Absolutely.
Right? So we want to change our term from downsizing, making it seem like we're going down, right? No, we're not. We're right-sizing to where we are in life. So first of all, thank you for being here with us, Tory.
Thank you for having me.
Talking about right sizing and what does that mean, and how does a real estate professional really come in and benefit the person going through that. So to get started, it's important for our audience to kind of know your background and a little bit more about you so that your information is credible, right? We all need to know that. So first off, kind of explain what you do and why are you so interested in specializing in the aging population?
My background is actually in banking.
Okay.
I spent a number of years in banking, and of course, within that realm, had a number of clients that I helped with different transitions of life, whether it be the loss of a spouse or whether it be buying a new home, changing careers. So I moved to when I moved to real estate a number of years ago to join my wife in real estate. She's been doing it a number of years as well. Yeah. It seemed like a lot of the clientele that we were helping seemed to be that 55 and up community that simply has different needs than maybe the younger generations do have.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's a situation where they have this house full of stuff, and they need to go down to some smaller square footage. And what do I do with this stuff? And it's having those resources available. Mm-hmm. And then it occurred to us that there's so many real estate agents out there that are really focusing on the millennial generation. They're focusing on the younger generations, and that 55 and up community was not getting the service and having the resources presented to them that really needed to happen.
Right.
And there is a designation called a senior real estate specialist that I started looking into. And so I went ahead and took the training and got my senior real estate specialist designation. And really what that's done is it's given me the resources to much better service that community and that population.
That's wonderful. I don't think many people know that that's even a certification you can get. So that's wonderful to know, and will help you definitely serve this population.
Absolutely.
So let's get into when is the right time to right size, and then what options do we have to consider?
That question is going to be different for every family, of course.
True.
And it's really going to depend on your changing needs and your changing daily lifestyle.
Right.
It may be a situation where when someone has children leave the home, they may need a smaller place.
Right.
If they have grown children that are moving back home, they may need more square footage. Mm-hmm. The loss of a spouse, right? Or possibly your income increases or your income decreases, or it may just be a situation where the maintenance and upkeep on your current home have just become either too much work or too much expense. There's numerous reasons somebody may want to make a change to their home. That's
true. So making a change to their home, that's something that leads us into another aspect of this. So say we have right-sized into a new space, or I'm staying in my existing home, and I want to make it to where I can age in place in my home. what options are out there and what can we do?
Aging in place is essentially taking your existing home and making changes, whether it be physical or functional, to help you with your changing lifestyle. That may mean adding handicap accessible features like shower rails or handicap ramps, or it may mean hiring in-home care to help take care of you on a daily basis.
Sure.
Or it may simply mean bringing in professionals to help with upkeep and maintenance on your home, or maybe landscaping, to keep you from having those same responsibilities.
Right. And, maintenance on a home is a lot.
It can be a lot, absolutely.
And I think when we think about aging in place or making our home accessible for us, we're forgetting it's also taking care of the home that you have to do. So I know a lot of the conversations surrounding this topic talk more about care, food, things like that, but you have to take care of the structure itself.
Well, and not only is it the work aspect of it, but the cost involved. And
Right.
especially making some modifications to a home, sometimes the
Right.
cost is just too much for what the home is.
Absolutely. So are there resources for that step-by-step process if an aging person is going to be moving from their home to right size? Maybe it's a hoarding situation.
Yeah.
Or what resources are out there?
There's actually a number of online resources that, for instance, there's a website called ageinplace.com. There's moveseniors.com.
Oh, okay.
AARP actually has some great information on their website as well, aarp.org. They've got a number of resources regarding not only aging in place, but relocating, right sizing.
Gotcha.
There's actually a number of resources available for hoarding situations as well. It's the same
Okay.
type of situation. It's online references. Now, of course, not every situation is going to be the same.
Right.
But they're going to be able to make suggestions in really how to approach those different issues.
So this is a time when it's really important that you have a real estate agent that is certified and knows about these resources and knows how to help with this.
Yeah.
Right? So, and knows how to get family involved. How involved should family members be, and is that important?
Kind of the recurring trend here is every situation is different, and
that's true.
this question goes along the same realm. Every situation is different. Most people want what is best for their family members,
Right.
But everybody takes a different approach in these situations.
Right.
Some people are going to be more of they're going to take charge, and they're going to want to make those decisions because in their mind they feel like they know what's best for that aging parent or whoever it may be.
Right.
But in doing so, a lot of times the wishes of that aging parent can be ignored.
True.
Other
Yeah.
people are going to take the more hands-off approach and essentially let that parent make all the decisions themselves. Now, a lot of times that can add stress to what's already a stressful situation, simply because that parent feels like everything has been unloaded on them. They feel like all that stress is on them.
Right.
Really, the best option in most situations is for the family members to be present and supportive and allow that parent to express their concerns, express their wishes,
Right.
and ask questions throughout the process.
Family is very important. We see that, with assisted living, that family involvement is so important, but there's a healthy balance to it, right? Because we want to make sure that the person is being heard and understood. So completely understand that. So let's talk about a topic that I don't think a lot of people know too much about, and that's reverse mortgages.
Yes.
What is that?
Reverse mortgages are basically a way for somebody to supplement their income by using the equity they have built up in their home. Now, with a traditional mortgage, you borrow a certain amount of money from the bank,
Right.
and then you repay the bank in monthly installments. With a reverse mortgage, the bank is basically paying you in either monthly or annual installments. And now the bank does place a lien on your home.
Okay.
And of course, the amount that they're paying you, interest does accrue on that amount.
Okay.
If you were to ever decide to sell your home, then of course the bank would need paid back the amount that you were given plus interest
Okay.
out of the proceeds of the sale of your home. Now, it's very important to remember that reverse mortgages are not for everybody.
Right.
The best option is to sit down with a knowledgeable financial advisor that can sit down and go over the different options available to you.
Okay. So one question I have is, what are people who getting a reverse mortgage using those funds for? Just for living or expenses, or?
I actually had a client recently that had a reverse mortgage that just sold their home, and of course it got paid off. But what they used the funds for was fixing up their home. Their home had been neglected for a good long time, so they were able to take those funds and they put new windows in their home, new doors. They had a new roof put on, new AC unit. But frankly, you can use the funds for anything, even if it's just day-to-day living. It's supplementing your income. It's supplementing your income in a non-traditional route.
Okay, I really don't know a lot about that, and I think it's important for our viewers to know that it's not specifically for one need. I didn't even think about the fixing up of the home. So thank you for that.
Even if it's just buying groceries or paying utilities or anything like that, it's just a way to supplement your income when the income's not there.
That's great to know, because a lot of the benefits that people get in this stage of life, there are many stipulations on that and what they can use them for. So like you said, it's not for everyone, but it might be the right thing for someone.
Right, exactly.
So let's talk about the sale of the home. If they're selling their home, are they going to have to pay taxes on that?
We get that question an awful lot, actually. If you have lived in your home at least 2 of the last 5 years, you will most likely not have to pay taxes on the sale of that home. Now, I will always recommend to sit down and speak with a tax advisor if you have any questions regarding your taxes.
Okay.
However, the majority of the time, people will not have to pay taxes on the sale of their home as long as they've lived there the last 2 of the last 5 years.
Okay. I did not know that as well. So we're gaining a lot of information today. That's good. So let's talk about, what if the right choice for someone is assisted living? What if that's the next moving step for someone? But they have to sell a home. So walk us through that process. I'm moving to an assisted living for my right size, and I have a home to sell. What do I do?
The first step is you want to surround yourself with people that have helped other individuals through similar situations.
True.
Let their experience kind of alleviate some of the stress of the situation, because it is stressful.
Right.
Anytime somebody relocates, there's going to be stress involved. So if you have somebody that's been through it before, they're going to have those resources available to them.
Right.
For an aging individual, find a real estate agent that has a senior real estate specialist designation, because we do have those resources that can help you with downsizing. We can help with estate sales. We can help with moving, cleaning, making repairs, and basically help get rid of some of the stress that would be on you. As far as what the process is, once you sit down with that agent, they're going to help you figure out, what is the value of my home? What can we sell this for? And then at that point in time, you need to decide, is that going to accomplish the goals I need to accomplish?
Okay.
And then at that point, that's when we pull those resources into play and really figure out, okay, so how do I minimize the stuff that I have so I can move into this type of facility? How is my family going to be involved? That's when those type of questions are going to be answered.
Gotcha. There's a lot of steps,
Absolutely,
obviously. But we hear that a lot. Well, I have a home, my mom has a home, and we want to sell that and use that income to help pay for her assisted living apartment. But you don't just need a real estate agent. You need a certified senior expert.
Absolutely, you do. We had a client recently that her mother had passed away a few years ago, and her mother was around 100 years old, and her mother loved antiques. And of course, my client loved antiques as well, and so she had her house full of this furniture, and her mother had this house full of furniture. Well, then it was time for her to move into a smaller place, and so it was, what do I do with all this furniture? What do I do with all these antiques? And so we had to go through that entire process, and we made it just as simple as possible for her. In the end, she was able to get into the home that was more of a right size for her.
Perfect.
And we were able to get her house sold and get the most out of it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Tory, for being with us. I hope that this information has been really helpful to everyone. It's a territory that is scary.
Absolutely.
Right? So we're trying to take that out. We don't want this to be a negative thing. We want people to feel like I need to be in the right home for me in this stage of life, whatever stage that is.
And my goal is to make it as stress-free as possible to
Right.
help in all aspects of that transition.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being here. If you have any questions, you want to reach out to Tory. He's with Crye-Leike. And I am here at the Rutherford, so feel free to reach out. We'll get you in touch with Tory. We'll get you all the resources that you need and help you through the process. Thank you.